Jake was a 34-year-old single dad raising his 7-year-old daughter Lily in a rundown apartment in Brooklyn. His days started at 4:30 a.m., he worked early shifts at a local mechanic shop, then rushed to pick up Lily from her school, and spent the evenings tutoring her or reading her favorite books before she fell asleep in his arms. He used to be a paramedic, a damn good one, before a workplace injury forced him out. He never complained, never asked for help. He believed that being a good dad was the one thing in life he couldn't fail at. And so, with aching bones and oil-stained hands, Jake kept going. Every single day. On that particular Tuesday, he was walking Lily home from school when they passed Riverside Bridge. The traffic was heavy, the wind fierce, and out of nowhere, a screech, a flash of silver, and a crash. A black Mercedes-Benz had swerved, spun off the road, and was teetering on the edge of the bridge rail, smoking from the hood. People screamed. Horns blared. But nobody moved. Jake told Lily to stay by the pole and ran. He didn't know who was in the car. Didn't care. What he saw was someone trapped, and his instincts kicked in. By the time he reached the vehicle, the front end was already slipping, one tire hanging in midair. He could see a woman inside, unconscious, her forehead bleeding. "I need help," he yelled, but the crowd only backed away. So he did what he always did, handled it himself. With trembling fingers and adrenaline flooding his system, he climbed onto the hood of the car, smashed the passenger window with a loose brick, and unlatched her seatbelt just seconds before the car gave way and plunged into the river below. They both hit the concrete hard, her in his arms, and he immediately checked her pulse. Alive. Breathing. He shouted for someone to call 911. When paramedics arrived, Jake was still pressing his jacket against the woman's head to stop the bleeding. But here's where the story takes a turn. The woman he'd saved? Her name was Charlotte Hale, CEO of Hale Industries, worth $2.4 billion. She'd just come from a board meeting that was about to change the future of urban housing in New York. Jake had no idea who she was. He only saw a human life. She regained consciousness in the ambulance. Her first words? "Call Benjamin. He needs to know I'm okay." Not "where am I?" Not "thank you." Not even "am I dying?" Just, "call Benjamin." Jake didn't think anything of it. Maybe it was a husband, a son, a brother. But days later, the media caught wind of the story. Jake's photo, Lily by his side, made the news. The mystery man who saved one of America's most powerful women. Charlotte came to visit him the next day, not at a press conference. At his job. She showed up in heels and sunglasses, walking into the auto shop like she didn't belong there, but she smiled when she saw him under a rusted Dodge. "Mr. Miller," she said, "I owe you my life." Jake just wiped his hands and shrugged. "You'd have done the same for me." "No," she said honestly. "I don't think I would have. And that's something I need to change." They talked. About life. About Lily. About how he used to be a medic, and how the injury took away his job and his health insurance, how he was too proud to take handouts. "You saved me," Charlotte said, "but I think you also saved something in me." He didn't understand what she meant until months later. Because that call she made in the ambulance? It wasn't to a husband. Or a child. It was to her lawyer. She wasn't calling to be comforted. She was calling to change her will. To start something new. To build something in honor of a man who reminded her what real courage looked like. She launched Project Haven, a non-profit housing initiative inspired by Jake's story, dedicated to helping single parents find safe, affordable homes and access to education and healthcare. She brought Jake on as an advisor. She even funded his surgery so he could finally fix his back. But that's not the heart of this story. The real story was how they began to show up for each other, two broken people, one with more money than she could ever spend, the other with a heart big enough to carry the weight of two lives. Lily adored Charlotte. She called her Charlie. Jake didn't expect anything. Not love. Not money. Not fame. But slowly, painfully, and beautifully, Charlotte stopped being a woman he rescued and started being someone who rescued him, too. From loneliness. From guilt. From the belief that men like him don't get second chances. They never labeled it. Not right away. But the way she looked at him when he was reading to Lily? The way he smiled when she sat in the back of the shop just to watch him fix a car? It was clear. Love didn't crash into their lives. It crept in. Softly. With healing. With trust. And one evening, about a year after the accident, Charlotte asked Jake if he ever wondered why people called her a billionaire but never asked her what she valued.